everybody, welcome back to the Raspy Dispatcher. My name is Ashley and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good stuff. So in today's video, we're going to talk about on-shift self-soothing. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So this video is geared more towards any current dispatcher, any first responder, or person in general who needs help debriefing during a difficult time or during a difficult shift. As a dispatcher, we go call to call, trauma to trauma, and it's important that when something triggers us or we're getting worked up, that we have tools in our tool belt in order to help us self-soothe so we can take care of ourselves, so we can continue to take care of others. So when we talk about self-soothing here, we are talking about activities that provide distraction or comfort in difficult times. Dispatchers, we know some days are harder than others, and some days you might take a call that triggers you. Because not every call is going to impact every person the same. We all have different triggers. We all have our own unique and different baggage. So it's important for us in this line of work to have an understanding of what are our triggers and how we can respond when we are triggered during shift. So because of this, I think it's super important to have a self-soothing game plan. And to have that game plan be specific to the different levels of time we as dispatchers may have available to us in between calls or on our designated breaks. So on shift, your first sign of needing to self-soothe may be experienced in many different ways, specifically a behavioral experience or a psychological experience. Some examples of these are agitation, irritability, hostility, flashbacks, fear, anxiety. Those are just some, not all, and not limited to those. But your response is your response. You know best how your body responds when you take a tough call, or when you're taking calls that are continuing to trigger that anxiety or trigger something in you, or you're not having a good response to the calls that keep coming in. So take the time to really write those things down. Take the time to understand what your body's personal red flags are. So you're able to better understand your triggers so you know when you need to implement your self-soothing plan. Now every comm center is different. It's staffed differently. The breaks are different. It's a very unique line of work. Every comm center is different. So you should have a plan, I would say, for self-soothing in different increments. A 10-minute break, a 5-minute break, and a 1-minute break. This is specific for dispatchers because sometimes you might only have 30 seconds to a minute in between calls, but you still need that minute to debrief before going into the next call for service. So depending on how much time you can get off the floor in between calls, or if you can only still a minute in between hanging up and picking up the next call, we want to have a plan that you can practice self-soothing and that will ultimately help with your self-care and your mental health in the long run in this career. So again, it's going to be specific to you, what you like, the things that help you decompress and debrief. But I went ahead and put together some examples for things that I would like to do during my self-soothing plan. So for my 10-minute section, I went ahead and put meditate. If you don't follow Dispatch Wellness on Instagram, do so. She has some great stuff and some great dispatch-related groups that you can join to really work on your meditation and your self-care and a lot more other things that she offers. So definitely check out Dispatch Wellness on Instagram and check out our website as well. I also like to walk. We sit a lot in this line of work. So getting up, standing, walking around, really, getting your feet moving and getting out of that space that you're taking these calls for service in. Another thing that I like to do when I have a long period of time is stretch out. Sit on the floor, really stretch, really get deep into your poses. Even like a 10-minute yoga session, if you like yoga, would be very helpful to really help decompress during that longer period of time that we have available to us. The next section is going to be the 5-minute section. If you have 5 minutes to really decompress, I would throw in some headphones and listen to my favorite song. Songs typically are 3 to 5 minutes long, probably closer to 4, but you can really just sit there, zone out, vibe out to your favorite jam, and really just let whatever's got you worked up go. Also, a technique that I saw when researching this is massaging your hands. I really like this idea because we use these all day long, 12-hour shifts. So really just taking the time to sit there and massage your hands and really just kind of take a step back from what we have to do in this line of work. Another one that I really enjoy is rolling a tennis ball under our feet. We did it a lot in basketball when I played in college, as a nice stretch, as a nice decompressant. Rolling a tennis ball under your feet. It's something that's very minimal, something you can do at your desk for a short or a 5-minute time span. And so the last and probably the hardest section is finding those 1-minute moments to help you decompress. So researching this, I found a few things that I thought were pretty interesting, and something that I'm going to try implementing in my self-soothing plan is chewing gum. Popping a piece of gum in and taking that minute to just chew and focus on the chewing. Another thing that I thought about and found was the breathing app. On our iPhones, I know it's on the watch. I feel like it's on the phone since it's on the watch, but I could be wrong. But if you do have that breathing app available to you, if you have it on your watch, it'll literally make you stop and do a breathing exercise for a minute. I find that very useful and helpful in really making you concentrate on your breathing and taking you out of the space that you're currently in. Another tool is progressive relaxation. I'm going to include a link to a article I found about that. Also, saying your ABCs backwards. I'm terrible at this, but I find it really interesting. And I think it could be really helpful in getting your mind to shift for that 1 minute where you're trying to decompress. Lastly, close your eyes. Close your eyes and just take a minute to step out of that space and really focus on centering yourself and preparing yourself to take that next call for service, that next 911 call. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have some techniques and some ideas to put into your tool belt, please leave them in the comment section. Let's really share and build community here and help each other learn how to practice these self-care and self-soothing routines in our hectic lines of work. I do hope that you like, subscribe, tell a friend, and stay raspy. Thanks for joining us.